Part two on why you should know the person before you start hunching them. So, boom, me and the baby, we leave San Diego and we come out here to New York. So, the time that we come to New York, it's like a blizzard out here. Like, it's the coldest, I guess, it's ever been in New York in years. So, I come out here with cut up jeans, a little sweater and stuff on. Like, I've never been to New York, and he wasn't really telling me what was going on. How cold it was or whatever the situation is. So anyway, so we get up in the car and it's just so weird. It's awkward. So then the sister, she goes and she says, "So where am I dropping you guys off to?" Excuse me, miss. What? So she says. So he says, "Huh?" So she said, "Where am I dropping you guys off to?" So then my ex-husband, he goes and he says, "Oh, to the hotel by your house." What? I'm confused. So then the sister's husband was like, "I'm not dropping her and the baby off to no hotel or whatever, blah, blah, blah." So she's like, "Well, it ain't no room up in the house because, they have their whole family and stuff living there." And so like, I'm so confused because this whole time I'm thinking that he lives by himself. Because he's like, "Oh, I'm home." And every time I talk to him, like, it's nobody up in the background, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, he was staying in his brother's room. His brother was renting a room, and the brother was letting him stay there, which was not fittable for me and a baby because it was a whole bunch of guys that live up in there. The bathroom was dirty. Like, it was just a fucking mess. So anyway, so we get to the house or whatever, and this is the first time I'm meeting his family. And like, this is like, they found out about me when I was pregnant. But it was just like so much drama and all this other stuff. So like, I talked to the mom on the phone plenty of times. So this was the first time I was meeting her. So my baby, she's crying. She remembers her dad from yelling and screaming all the time. So every time she see him, like, she's crying, she's screaming, like, around them. She's crying, she's screaming because she don't know them. So then, boom, that was that. Um, so then the baby stays with them, and then me and him go and we stay in that room that his brother was renting out. So we're in the room. I'm like, "So what are we doing? Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna figure it out because I thought, my family was gonna help." And I said, "How was it gonna help? How did you figure they was gonna help if you didn't even tell them that we was coming or ask them? You should have asked them ahead of time. Oh, I just wanted my family here and da da da." Okay, sir. You still should have told me. You should have told them. We're all lost in the freaking sauce right now. Like, it's too much going on. So then I go back to the house, and the older sister, she's there, like, the whole family, like, so yeah. So the whole family comes, the sister comes, I stay there for like a few days. Then now I'm up in the car with the older sister, and she's like, "Okay, well, then you guys will just have to go to a shelter." Shelter what? Shelter who? So now, like, I'm really going crazy because it's like, my family begged me not to go. And I went on my own, and I was like, "You know what? I want my family." Like, from a kid, I always wanted a family, my own family and stuff like that. So I'm going to stick it out. And then my pride was just out of this world. I couldn't call my grandma and my mom and all them and tell them, like, "I came out here and it was bad. I'm coming back home," and so, because I kept going back and forth, back and forth. And this time I was like, "You know what? Like, I'm not going back because they said that it was going to be bad, and I don't want to prove them right." So we go to the shelter. It's a family shelter, and those people, it's called Path. Those people are freaking rude as heck. Oh my goodness! Like, people are coming there for help. Okay, I get it. New York City is a lot of lazy people, so they grew up in the shelters and stuff like that, and they be trying to play games, but they were being so freaking rude. They're gonna tell me that wherever I was staying when I got here, I need to go stay back with them. And I said, "Well, they have a 2 bedroom, and it's like 7 of them living up in the 2 bedroom." So they're like, "Oh, well, you can just pull out the drawer and put the baby and let the baby sleep in the drawer. The drawer, put like a blanket and stuff and let the baby sleep in there." So I said, "Excuse me?" So she was like, "Yeah, you can put the baby in there. It's safe." Like, when I said, I was literally crying. Like, we was there for days. They the whole day we was there. We couldn't bring food into the place. Or anything like that. Like, we had to sit there and wait the whole day. So if we didn't get called within that day, they put us on a bus and they take us to like a hotel. And then early in the morning, they bring us back. And then we sit there all day, starving, thirsty, hungry, everybody arguing, everybody fighting. It was just traumatic. So anyway, they end up placing us in a well, they was like, oh, he couldn't come because me and him at the time wasn't married. We didn't have a domestic partnership. Like we weren't married. We just had a kid together. So they were like, oh well, he can go. You can come to the shelter, but he can't come. So now, like, I'm so like I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. So then he ends up coming with me to the shelter that they had put me in. And the shelter was so freaking dirty. It was nasty. My baby was crying. Like, it was just a lot. So then, yeah, so now, like, we're going out to eat and stuff like that. We go to Times Square. And this is the first time me and him gets into an argument. I've been there for like probably a month now. So now we're in Times Square. I don't know New York City. I don't know anybody. Yeah, I don't have nobody. I don't know anything. Like, I'm just a lost little duckling at this point. So he leaves me and the baby in Times Square. He leaves us in Times Square. So I'm sitting here and I'm crying. Like, and this lady, she walks up to me and she's like, oh, are you okay? Are you lost? Like, what's going on? And this and that. So I was trying to tell her, like, I don't even remember where the shelter was at, honestly. So anyway, it took me hours to figure out how to get back to the shelter and stuff like that. So then he leaves me up in the shelter for a few days. Like, he don't talk to me or anything like that. So then he finally comes back over, and we're in the Bronx. So we're outside and it's pouring raining. And again, he leaves me and the baby in the freaking rain. So I end up meeting one of my closest friends now, Marky. Marky. So Mark was like, do you want to ride? Like, do you want me, like, are you okay? Like, are you and the baby okay? Like, do you need a ride? That's not. But my pride, I'm like, no, I'm okay. My pride, and because I'm in a relationship. So I'm like, no, okay. So I stayed up in the freaking rain, drenched with water, with rain. So that was that. So then, like I said, he just kept leaving us in the shelter, and then not speaking to us for days and stuff like that. Then finally, like, we're at church, and I'm the type of person, I don't ask anybody for nothing. So if I don't have it, I'll just go without and just do what I have to do. So we're at church, and his sisters and everybody, and I love his sisters because his sisters and his mother or whatever, they helped me so much. And the reason why I'm who I am today, a nurse, is because his older sister. But I'll get to that part. So anyway, so we're at church, and mind you, I lose so much weight. Like, I'm so freaking skinny. I'm gonna post a picture too. I'm so skinny. So we're at church. After church, they're asking me, like, do you need anything? Do you want anything? Like, is everything okay? Blah blah blah. So I'm like, no, I don't need nothing, because at this time I was just whatever you guys can get for my baby, that's all that matters. And they did a lot for my baby. So he's like, no, look at her bra. She needs bras. She needs underwear. She's washing her underwear out in the sink, and she's doing this and she's doing that in front of everybody. In front of everybody, like, the everybody at church, they're all outside. Like, when I say I was so embarrassed, so he's like, so his sisters was like, stop, like, why would you say that and this and that? He was like, well, she needed. You guys asking if she needs something, that's what she need. Like, she need this and she need that. When I say embarrassed, so freaking embarrassed. So anyway, that was that. So it was like constant shelter